M.J Akbar, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
At the time of petition, it was predicted that Pakistan had a better chance of becoming a functioning democracy, while there was every chance that India could descend into sectarian violence. Why did it turn out so differently, do you think?
It was said, yes, of course it was said, and it was said all too often. That is because the world didn't understand the nations that were being born, and it is curious that the secular world, the liberal world, should have misunderstood the nature of the two nations. Indians and Pakistanis are the same people. The big question is why we have moved in such different trajectories. The answer, at least one I offer in my book, is that India was a modern idea. What is a modern idea? It was a liberal idea, it was a democratic idea, it was a secular idea. These are the things and the values that have shaped a modern world. And Pakistan actually became a sort of an extension of a medieval idea, that you could actually create a nation in the name of religion. And what is shocking is not that other theocracies may or may not have welcomed Pakistan, but that other democracies tended to see religion as the basis of nationalism. Now, there is no instance in the history of even of Muslims of religion being a basis of nationalism.
For all the theocratic impulses behind the establishment of Pakistan, was there a point where it could have become a fully fledged democracy, or did the generals simply get too much power too early on?
Maybe in the 50s Pakistan could have gone. The person who actually moved the resolution for the constitution of Pakistan, Bengali, Shahid Sarwardi, warned his own country, he was actually Prime Minister at that time, or Law Minister, warned his own country against the dangers of what they were stepping into. So there was an elite class which was aware of what might happen. There is no point saying that only Ziaul Haq, the most famous of the Islamic quote-unquote generals, is responsible for what Pakistan is today. No. The DNA of Pakistan, this thing began to creep into the DNA of Pakistan even during previous generals. And you could see it as one of the things on two major areas. One is in the legislation, for example, on gender law and its regressive approach. Number two, the education, and how slowly the impact of a theocratic mind begins to warp children into believing that really the world consists of only one community and the rest of humanity is somehow second-rate, if not barbaric.
Washington has said more than once that the challenges facing Pakistan are so great that its very existence is at risk. You, on the other hand, have a sense that it is more durable than that. Why, despite all the challenges, do you think that its durability does guarantee its future?
Because I think Washington has got this one wrong. It is not Pakistan which will collapse. I've called it a jelly state. A jelly state is one which will keep quivering. Unlike butter, it won't melt and disappear. But because it has nuclear arms and because it has a fundamentalist core, it will be a toxic jelly state for the reasons, and toxic for its own people. And I think there's great awareness among middle-class Pakistan, among the aspiring urban Pakistan, of the dangers there. But I think Washington doesn't quite understand that there is a difference between the polity and the nation. The danger that emerges from Pakistan is the danger from its political evolution, not from its status as a nation state. And therefore, I have argued, even including with my friends, that in Pakistan, that what Pakistan needs is not another general election. What it needs is another constituent assembly, in which it can remove a term like Islamic from its constitution and call itself a secular democracy.
Just how important is what's happening now in Afghanistan to the future of Pakistan? It's clear that Islamabad is very worried about the current negotiations between the United States and the Taliban. Why should Islamabad be worried?
I don't think they're worried at all. Sometimes you mustn't take the pretense of governments to be the truth of the reality. I think Pakistan is looking forward to a Taliban government because it thinks, as in the past, that it will be the biggest and most important player in Afghanistan. But I don't think Islamabad is afraid of what it should be afraid of. That the last time around, Pakistan was influencing the Taliban. This time, Taliban might be in control of Islamabad. And that will change the fundamental nature, not because the Taliban has changed, but because Pakistan has changed.
One final subject. It would seem that, given the dire state that Pakistan finds itself in at the moment, that peace with India is more important to Islamabad than even it is to New Delhi. Why is it that there's so much resistance in Pakistan to anything approaching a settlement of this appallingly long-running conflict?
Because the rational impulse, which you so well describe, is always contradicted by the irrational compulsion. Right? One of the most interesting aspects of this conflict between India and Pakistan is that Pakistan opted for war with India. You know that it invaded India within 6 weeks of being born. It was the first decision made by Pakistan to go to war with India. There was a ceasefire in 48, and I often tell this to my Pakistan friends. I said that in 65 years, 6.5 inches of land hasn't changed hands. Another 65 years, it still won't change hands. There is a solution, however, to the Kashmir problem. In historical terms, after 6-7 decades, de facto becomes de jure. So freeze it at where it is, shake hands, and let's go and find a future.
Do you think that'll ever happen?
I don't know about your lifetime, not likely in mine.
M.J. Akbar, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you so much.